Hi, Poor Choices here with the first 1v1 from Group B. We have Hero of Time versus Bregan123. I'm joined today by Evolution.
Hey guys.
All right, now as the first match, this should be a good indicator of two of the players. Hero of Time coming in as the relative unknown. People were looking to see if he was going to be like Shadow Shield and be an unknown expert, versus Bregan, who constantly makes it towards the finals of the 1v1s and tag tournaments. Evo, what do you think going into this?
I got to play Hero Time the other day quite a bit. He's a pretty solid player. A little bit different of a arse than you typically would see in a one-on-one. And then of course we have Bregan here, who almost feels like your name should fit him for his poor choices that he constantly makes.
Well, I'll say this about Bregan. He may not be well liked, but the guy can throw a rock.
I personally like Bregan. I don't know what you're talking about.
He knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, we do have Bregan here in the background as we berate him, which kind of just makes this really enjoyable for me. So, without further ado, Bregan, what were the bands?
Let's see, the bands were Panorama and Lane.
Okay.
Who decided the first
Evo,
band?
you need to rejoin the video room. I banned Panorama and he banned Lane.
Okay.
All right, we'll wait on Evo to rejoin that video room. Just to give everyone a further background, Bregan was my pick to win this group, even though I'm in this group. But Hero of Time was one of those players that not a lot of us had info on. That's not necessarily a bad thing, as not having info could mean that we don't know exactly what he's going to bring. Evolution already gave us a bit of a spoiler that he's played a bit, and Hero does bring some unconventional stuff. Bregan, on the other hand, doesn't get all the credit he probably should as far as being a mad scientist himself. We actually think of Evo, we think of Sandal, but Bregan has weird and game-breaking hangs. He's not above crazy weird pop arsenals. Not that he can't play the high mechanical game, but he does have other things in his repertoire. So we see Bregan off to a good aura start, and then my video got paused.
Hold on. Just keep talking. We're trying to figure this out.
Yeah, we're having a little trouble with the video player.
Yeah, sounds like you're making some poor video choices. Anyway, so we do see...
Or some poor internet choices.
Make out that Hero is a cartwheeler. I don't know if somebody can confirm that. But Bregan, of course, is playing Nature. We see the Arc of Fire and the Heat. It's paused on my screen. Pretty typical Nature fare out of him. Nature, of course, though, being super versatile, and Bregan having already a great track record on Palace. Hero of Time also will start the match with a fairly decent aura start as well, with a 4 aura, and he does have the yellow status and some attacks ready to go. We'll see, exactly what kind of player is. I don't know what to expect as far as the rush. If he's cautious, if he's going to have a counter. Both of them are lacking a shield, but we'll see if that stops them from starting pretty immediate contact.
Okay, so I am on the video now, and just give me the countdown.
Yeah, we'll have you hit play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Alright, so Bregan does use that heat right off the bat. We do see Hero of Time coming down. Does look like he's trying to get some quick testing out of there, chasing Bregan. Bregan keeping some distance to use that Arc of Fire. Good dodge out of Hero of Time. He is a cartwheeler. So we'll see what sort of attack he's
that was a pretty quick start for you. We played his matches were not that fast.
Which, I think is something you've got to be able to do in 1v1. Those long setup decks do not work. Not that you can't bring jank, but if you do, they've got to be ready to go quickly. A few blazing swords from Evo, and that's all she wrote.
So they say. I wouldn't know.
Fire of Gehenna, good good situational dodge by Bregan getting behind the cover. Cartwheelers, of course, have a different release point, so most of those are going to be decent cover. Pauses to shoot the fire of Gehenna and eats a big ice sword. Now he's got to hold on.
Yeah, that ice sword could be a game changer.
We do see
He's already
Bregan
lost 7 health.
I'm shocked Bregan's still holding on to that stimulate, but now he's cleared off with his healing water. See if he goes careful or aggressive. He goes careful. Picks up the fortress. Good measured response. So all we've really seen is that fire, which he can't really continue to throw. Well, actually, he is healed up a bit. He can continue to throw the fire for a little while, and that reincarnation. Arc of Fire, Bregan's keeping him on his toes. Nothing too
Bregan's
crazy
been
right
laying
now,
down some
just
good
measuring
pressure,
distance. Yeah. Good block with the Arc of Fire, and Heroes kind of back in that same spot, down to 13. He does have
And
another
back to
healing
18.
water, but that's already 2 out of him. Even if he packed all 3, he is slowly burning through his health.
Fire
Bregan, though,
Gehenna
is
can
content.
either be an amazing game finisher, or it can be just your own downfall. And it's different in every match, but it seems like Palace, depending on spawns, it's all dependent on spawns. If you got a fire and you're behind the tree, you're relatively pretty good. Your spawn's up top and you're having to go between all these obstructions. Usually ends
I
up
also
in
don't
your
think
opponent's favor.
It should be your first go-to spam skill, especially if you know your opponent's got fire. Hero, though, takes a couple big ice swords there. Bregan's content to get rid of the ice sword as it goes up in cost. Hero uses what's likely, without recalls or relearns, his last healing water. He does has a fortress himself now, but with that heat on that vacuum slash, Bregan should be able to break it. If he gets a clear vacuum slash off. Good block. Takes the ice sword. Some similar nature arsenals out of both these guys. Oh!
That
the
was
vacuum
an
slash
excellent vacuum
gets
slash.
in right before the Fortress of Iron. We see the Fortress go up, but not before he eats the vacuum slash. Big damage. And Bregan, though, is not content with his heat, then uses Stimulate. Got a very powerful +3 that Arc of Fire is going to do some damage. Hero of Time uses his own heat. Bregan has his Guard of Water. He's going to go test him out.
The beautiful thing about
here-
this guard is he can trade. He didn't need to,
Yep.
but he could have traded.
But you see him right there, ready as soon as the fire Gehenna has a long wind up there. I mean, even if he had sat there and taken it, you open yourself up to a lot of damage with very little health. It puts you in a bad position. So we do have this next map over on Highway. We'll see what Bregan's picking right now. He's giving us a good look at all his arsenal.
Bregan,
We
you
can
don't-
all,
You don't change your arsenal names very often, do you, Bregan?
I don't really see a point in it.
yeah, names are just labels, like, arsenic if it's poison. But we do see what looks to be the laser deck. We got vibration right off the bat. We saw a level amp already. There's a relearn on deck. Hero, though,
Yeah, Bregan's got a
slightly
good
better
hand
aura
right
start. One more aura. We'll see what he's bringing. I would imagine it's something kind of similar. Angel's Wing, though, should be pretty versatile, especially as a jumper. Not too many lasers to fear, especially with his spawn. Hero doesn't have the worst spawn, but not as good as Bregan's.
Music on.
They're both sort of just waiting out, picking up. Hero's already up to 6, full hand.
I haven't had the music on in a long time.
Bregan's content to
Honestly,
clear
they
his hand
both
with the
have
relearn.
they both have an upper hand spawn here. Bregan will have a difficult time hitting lasers from his spawn versus Hero, and vice versa. So it's kind of any man's match right now.
Right. Hero digging through his stills a little bit quicker. Hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt him. In these 1v1 matches, there can be quite a war of attrition. You don't want to have to burn through too many skills if you can avoid it.
Any music.
Looks like Bregan's noticing him about to be on vibration, so he's trying to move in maybe to make that eraser.
And we do see a pin down out of Hero of Time. Kind of an interesting move on a big map, especially against a jumper. Don't know if that would have been my first selection there. Bregan, though, still testing him out. Can't do anything, but also not in any real danger from the pin down.
No, I think Bregan here is just trying to feel out the arsenal, see what he's working with.
Yeah.
I was seeing if I could open up my hand since I had that relearn in both vibration moves.
Yeah, you wanted to waste your eraser. I gotcha. All right, Hero of Time, though, coming to look to press the attack, still spamming the pin down. I mean, if he can catch him while he's using a move, I'm assuming he's got a lot of skills to back up that work well with the pin down. Not getting a lot out of it right now, though. Bregan, though, just comfortable waiting on vibration. Does have a Rian now, so he can start the throw. Hero of Time, we didn't really see a lot shield-wise out of him in the first game. That looks to be kind of a running theme here, relying on the cartwheeling. But if Bregan spams that Rian, that might get a little tricky. At this point, though, just a pretty good paced defensive game. Both just feeling each other out. We'll see if it picks up pace in a minute. Bregan does get caught with the pin down.
That was good.
And takes a tumble for it. Wasn't quite hovering high enough in the air while throwing those Rians. Interesting to see what else Hero has. Oh, we do see Dance of Death, but a good Angel's Wing out of Bregan. Bregan got a little lucky that Angel's Wing actually worked. Notorious for being kind of an iffy skill. But it does take that dance. We look like it was a pin down dance arsenal. So those other two might not be usable skills. Looks like Hero is retreating back to his
It's always
base.
amazing to me when I see a Dance of Death on highway.
Yeah, that's without a speed up or a dash. That's pretty ambitious. But, I mean, props for ideas we haven't really seen too much of. Not just another laser deck. Bregan, though, he had a very bad track record with Highway in the tag match.
Oh, wow.
But doing
Kind of horrible.
alright right here. Hero doesn't have his pin down. Takes a Willow, late looking Willow. But it's able to catch him. Now he's out. He's in a rough spot as a cartwheeler there. Again, no real shield to speak of. If Bregan holds up his aura, he should be able to spam. I think that's what we have coming. Bregan does take the Dragon Slayer, but he jumps into it, so he's not open to the Dance of Death. And he's comfortable just jumping off there, has a decent
Yeah, that
health
was a
lead.
smart move on Bregan's part.
Yeah, you gotta build that distance. He has definitely some distance attacks and skills. We see a Willow Rian combo coming. Hero keeping just out of space, backs up. Bregan content to push the attack. I'm surprised he hasn't sat there and just tried to dig a sec for vibration to end it. But we don't see any aura at his base either. Hero already down to about 7 skills left. Bregan does have those violent changes as well. We'll see if he burns through some things to
And they
violent
always seem to
change.
come early on, and that's sort of the issue that I have with this game, with the supposed random arsenal draws. Because it seems like your bravery skills, your vibration skills, and your violent changes always come at the beginning.
You know what? And I'd be interested
Oops.
to crunch the numbers on that and see if it's just heuristic thinking or if certain skills are weighted. I know Murder had that theory for a while, that certain skills had a slightly different percentage of opening hand of when they would come out. But I
Solid
don't
one,
have any
Bregan.
information on that. Yeah, Bregan with the violent changes is able to push. Didn't look like Hero had too much outside of the dance.
City now.
And on Highway, unable to close that distance without any skills to use speed or dash to get around. Or what this time was just Willow Rian and not any sort of vibration. So good job by Bregan of making use of the space, not getting caught with that one combo.
We see Bregan here going with a single school nature. Actually, one of my personal favorites. I'm excited to see what he's going to work with here.
This is looking pretty similar, if not the same, to what he ran on Palace. He's off to a good aura start again. Hero still doesn't have any shields. You can get away with a bit as a cartwheeler, but you know there's definitely some combos and some things in the 1v1 that are a bit trickier to deal with without that. I mean, good. Luckily for him, Bregan's not holding a dazzle or anything like that, but that ice sword's going to get hard enough to dodge if Bregan can start spamming it. Does have the blazing on deck as well. We'll see if he racks up some ice sword uses and then goes to blazing. Would be my thought. Good Dragon Slayer. Thought he was going to miss there, but he does catch Bregan. Gets rid of the fortress, which is a big win for Hero. That fortress is always tricky to deal with. Hero
Yeah,
also,
that's a big Dragon Slayer.
yeah, he's got a good amount of aura as well. He can knock Bregan out of blazing. He'll be in pretty good shape. He's got to get through some healing waters to do it, though. Good flame sword.
Hero Time looking like a different player this match on City. Looking a lot stronger. A lot more pressure going on.
His timing is definitely better. His spacing. Really hammering Bregan with those blazing bullets. Even with the healing water, Bregan's unable to stay blazing. Good dodge on the vacuum flash. Hurt. Does take another flame sword, holding a decent lead over Bregan. We'll see if Bregan gets rid of that stimulate, or gets rid of his blazing sword. We do see another yellow at his base, though. It's another healing water. I'll put him right back into blazing range. Hero also holding.
And now we see we've got Hero off of right back on.
Yep, he rolled off, got rid of his own healing water. Now running 4 attacks. I feel even more comfortable saying the lack of shields there is a choice, and not just a couple of bad draws. Which, again, I mean it's an interesting strategy. I just don't think with all the skills that we necessarily see, it's a safe one. He is doing well though, keeping. If you don't need a defense, if you.
That happened to me first game.
Pressure on Bregan, holding him off with his spawn. Nice ice sword. He's going to isolate Bregan from picking up any shields. Bregan already running, trying to get some space so he can work his way back. Hero, though, has a good shot of closing this one out if he could just finish that last 4 damage. So Bregan in that rough spot. He does have lightning sword, but no shields to take away. Kind of loses a lot of the value. He's got vacuum wall, but it's pretty expensive. If Hero saves up, you could use a few blazing, get a nice a combo between them. Bregan looks like he's holding up aura, saving so he can get rid of that vacuum. Not using stimulate yet, which I think is a good call, because you want to be able to build up that aura quickly, at least until you take an attack or two. He does take blazing bullet, then he's content to stimulate. Hero heats up, so that flame sword he had is definitely lethal at this point. Big arc of fire though is going to knock Hero out of blazing, and Hero down to 8 capsules. I don't think he'll be able to get back blazing. See if Bregan sets up for the flame sword. Doesn't hit the flame sword. Dodges an ice sword though, which was a great dodge. At +2, that ice sword would have been fatal for Bregan there. But instead he's able to turn the situation, and they're much closer now in health.
Bregan was looking pretty grim just moments ago, and now he's starting to turn this match around. He's looking really solid.
And Hero does heal up, kind of get a little bit of a distance there, but Bregan is the one with the shield now, and the mix of ranged and short range. Hero hasn't thrown a range since the blazing. So Bregan in a dangerous but relatively balanced position.
I like what Bregan's doing here. He's staying behind cover until he hits 6 with a vacuum wall, and then he's trying to bait Hero of Time into, once he runs up that ramp, to throw an attack. And it's working really well for him. He's getting the high ground, he's getting the sword cancel option, he's getting the angle with the arc of fire.
Bregan, very patient, puts him in at an advantageous position. Now as a jumper he's able to use this box. Hero's in danger of trash there, and he's essentially 1 hit away. There we go.
Oh, wow.
That was a solid win out of Bregan. That was beautiful.
Bregan able to turn the tables on Hero. Kind of had that match. A lot of good things from Hero, a lot of good things from Bregan, but ultimately Bregan was able to take advantage of some decisions that I think were questionable on Hero's side, and really just able to react and wait him out and really use the level to his advantage.
And that's what one-on-one is. I mean, it's a cerebral chess game. The patient man is usually the one who wins it in this.
Is that why I'm so bad at it? All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. That's the first one from Group B. A lot more 1v1 to follow. So have a good day and catch you around.